Hi, my name is Chris Osman, and I live in Miami, Florida, and I basically have bought a couple properties here and one in Ohio. Neither of them were intended to be houses that were going to be flipped or anything. The one I bought here was going to be my home, and the one that I was buying in Ohio was an investment property. It was going to be a rental property. I never had the intention of flipping the property, of trying to just make a quick buck off of anything. Ultimately, my goal was to be able to leave both of these properties to my niece, because I have no children of my own, and I wanted to leave something to a future generation of my family. So I watched as the market continued to go up, and in the back of my mind I kept telling myself that it was a bubble. But as the houses kept getting more expensive and more expensive, I looked at it like, well, I'm going to be outpriced here soon. It's going to get to the point where I can't afford to buy a place. So I went out and looked for a place here in Miami, and I bought something I could afford, actually really afford, fairly easily. And I held on to that for a couple years and kept I worked on it and made it nicer, and like I said, I never had the intention of selling it. After a couple years, I bought the second place, and things seemed to be going pretty well. And then a couple years later, the housing market crashed, and both of those neighborhoods have diminished greatly. And as for me, I got laid off. The company I was working for was basically trying to appease their stockholders by making their profits look greater than they were by downsizing the company, laying off people. And so both of these properties are in distressed neighborhoods, and I can no longer afford to pay for them. But the banks are still asking for their money. To me, the banks are like loan sharks who loan you the money, then break your legs so you can't work to pay back that money, but then demand that money. And our government has allowed that to happen. I blame both the Democrats and the Republicans because, in my opinion, the Republicans tell you how they're going to screw us all, and the Democrats watch them screw us all. A perfect example is that, other than looking for work, I try to find solutions to what's going on in the country. One being that I put out petitions that basically argue against some of the illogical policies that our politicians are putting out there. Right now I have a petition that I call "In the Job Creator Myth." And basically all it says is that instead of giving tax breaks to the supposed job creators up front, why don't we simply subsidize those jobs that are created after they're created? This way, if we have 100 people who claim to be job creators, but only 20 of them actually create jobs, then that means that 80% of the money that they're getting up front is wasted. Why not instead give that money to those people who actually create the jobs? And the excess or the savings that we have, we then put that into programs that actually does create a job, or do create jobs if there's more than one program. To me, some of the solutions that we have out there are quite simple, but these people make them seem like they're so complicated they can't get done. And in making them seem so complicated, they get nothing done.